Hey, Dolphin Life Math and History, and we are going to take a look at the volume of a prism. So what we're going to do is learn about what is the volume and how can we apply it in real life. So here is a story problem that we're going to look at. So Carlo Acutis picks up trash and fills a 4x4 by 6 foot rectangular prism trash can.
Who has dumped all this rubbish here? Who could do such a thing? Why do people pollute the environment like this? Hold my dog and I'll pick it up.
Yes, I will. Good job. Well done.
The question is, if he wants to fill a dumpster which is 16 times 8 times 7 feet, then how many trips will Carlo need to fill up the dumpster entirely? So there is two things. We're talking about a trash can and we're talking about a dumpster. And what we have to do is try to find the volume. But hang on, what is the volume? Well, what we can say is the volume is helpful if you want to look at a 3D object and try to find how much in cubic inches or how much in cubic feet can this object hold. The volume literally talks about the object and the stuff inside of it, not the outside. So we have two diagrams right over here. We have a trash can depicting that it's 4 feet and 4 feet on the bottom, and it has a height of 6 feet. Then we have a dumpster, which is a lot bigger. Oh yeah, the pictures are not drawn to scale. The dumpster has a long length of 16 feet, a width of 8 feet, and a height of 7 feet, which I wouldn't be surprised if Carlo would have to climb a ladder to get the trash over since it's 7 feet. And the crazy part is, these two have different volumes, but the question is saying, how much of these cans is going to fit in here? How much of the volume of this can, and how much of them is going to fill the entire volume of this dumpster entirely? But how are we going to calculate the volume of both things, and how are we going to solve the problem out? Well, one of the things we have to do, actually we have to do 2 steps. One, we have to use a formula. The formula is actually easier than you think. It is, the volume is going to equal the length times the width times the height. So we have volume, and that's equal to length times width times height. And we color-coded them because we wanted to color-code the pictures right over here, saying that there's a length, a width, and a height going up towards the sky. Same with the dumpster. We have a length, a width, and a height, which Carlo would have to use a ladder to get up to the dumpster. So here is how we're going to calculate the volume of both of them. So using the formula here, and we have workspace for both the trash can and the dumpster, here's what we have to do. Our V is going to be on both sides, but that has to equal something. We have to plug in our information that we got from the word problem into the formula. So the trash can is 4 by 4 by 6. And right over here, it shows a picture 4 by 4 by 6. But most of the times, questions won't actually give you a picture, so sometimes you'll have to work with what you're given from the question in words, the word problem. So we are going to write over here 4 times the height, which is 6. And we have to multiply them. Now let's do the math. We have 4 times 4 is 16. Then we can drag that 6 and multiply that by 16. 16 times 6 is going to bring you to 96. So we can say that the trash can right over here is going to be 96 feet cubed. The reason why cubed is because the trash can is a 3D object, which is something you could actually hold in your hand or actually lift up in the air. That's the trash can. But what about the dumpster? So right over here, we have to do the same kind of math, but for the dumpster. We're going to label this. The dumpster is going to have different dimensions, and it's supposed to be bigger than the trash can, which makes a lot of sense because that's what we're trying to fill. So 16 times 8 times 7. We have 16 as the length, 8 the width, and 7 as the height. So we have 16 multiplied that by 8 multiplied by the height, which is 7. And we have to add the multiplication signs. So, right over here, 16 times 8 is a problem you would usually want to use on a calculator for fast math. So, 16 times 8 is 128. But when you pull down the 7 and you multiply it, 128 times 7 is going to be 896. So, here's what happens. 896 feet cubed is going to be the volume for the dumpster, or how much in cubic feet the dumpster can hold before it fills up. So, since we calculated both of the volumes for each the trash can and the dumpster, there's one more thing we have to do. It says in the second part of the question, how many trips will Carlo need to fill up the dumpster entirely? Another way we could say is how many times does Carlo Acutis need to fill up the trash can and put it into the dumpster? In order to do that, we need to calculate both of the volumes of each object. But since we already did that, we're actually right on track. What we have to do here is take the two volumes and do the dumpster's volume divided by the trash can's volume. So we have 896 divided by 96. And when you get that on a calculator, that will bring you to 9.33 times. So, we could say that Carlo Acutis will need to fill up that small trash can and put it into the dumpster 9.33 times. But hang on. We need to do some rounding. It doesn't make sense to make 9.33 trips. You could only make trips as whole numbers. So instead of saying 9.33, then we're going to change it and round it to a whole number that's above it. So instead of saying 9.33, we're going to change it to 10. Because Carlo Acutis will fill up the dumpster at 9 trips, but he won't entirely fill it to the fullest. So he will have to add a 10th trip just to add the second part. Meaning that there will be less trash in the trash can, but he'll use it to deliver it to the dumpster to fill it entirely. So he'll need 10 trips, or 10 times he'll need to fill up the trash can. But in reality, the last time you don't fill up to the completely fullest. You fill it up you fill up a third of the way on the last one. So yeah, that is how we understand the volume of a rectangular prism. And the formula is right here for reference. I hope this video has helped you understand the volume of a prism. Thank you for watching Tau Pineo Lines Math Industry. Like and subscribe.